world schooling, sometimes when people ask you all these practical questions, all of this with the visas and the laundry and how do you ever get a shower and these things, I get it. We live sometimes in a van, so obviously there's no shower, and that's a practical question, and I would like to answer it, but I think it's just more interesting to talk about the other things. When you
Yeah.
take school out of the equation, what happens? And what I don't want to happen is that you put some ambition like the school to repeat the system at home or on the journey. Okay, so we go to Athens and then we have to study Greek mythology and then we have to visit all these places. And this is a teachable moment. We have to give the children this. I think
Oh,
in order. But this is also a common misunderstanding about world schooling, where the unschooling kind of slips out the back door, because then it becomes like this ambition project. And if it is this ambition project, we can't find space for the inner journey, which I would find devastating. So the freedom thing, the Lady of Liberty, um, I'm trying to get to a point, and it's not easy because this is complicated stuff. But I was just, so we, like you have a son in the 20s, we have a daughter, she's kind of the same age, and she just visited us in Paris, and she said she had heard the most inspiring lecture ever in her life. It was about feminist economy, and she more or less repeated the whole thing for me. It was very, very interesting. I will not do the same right now. But she said this question of money and value, where everything feminine has no value because it will not generate money that can be calculated. Another kind of protest is to do all the things that officially have no value, which means we have to let go of always ticking boxes off, of always studying something or doing something. And the inner journey has no value in the money society, or the money, I need a word, money economy. Yeah. So when you took the school out of the equation, which is like one big thing lots of free thinkers never think about, they do crazy stuff. They build organic villages, and they have share economy, and they do all crazy great things and send the kids off to school every morning.
it's crazy.
Yeah, it is. But another thing that also sometimes slips, and this is more complicated, that's why I'm talking so much, is this: do you dare do something that has no official value, like doing your inner work or just making a drawing? I know you do artwork. I've seen it on social media, and it has value, but it doesn't have, so you cannot tick a box, kind of, I accomplished art, or you cannot tick a box, I felt my feelings. You cannot tick a box, I read a good night's story for my children and that made them grow inside. These things, do you find it part of your life as an anarchist to do things that has no value in the monetarian way of thinking, or am I making any
Absolutely.
sense?
Absolutely. And I know exactly what you mean.
Okay,
So
because I'm very, very, very not very good at explaining myself right now.
not at all.
But
You were
maybe you can
very
translate.
clear. No, you were very clear. So the way that this related to us is I look at it at through the lens of deschooling, right? So I'm somebody who came from LA. I was accustomed to, making more than 10,000 US dollars a month. I worked very hard for that money. We always had everything that we needed. And I'm just sort of looking at this through the lens of economy right now, just to give you some background. But when we left the United States, we had a limited, not unlimited, a limited amount of money in the bank, which was supposed to last us for 1 year. And the very first challenge that my son and I, were confronted with was looking at our relationship to consumerism. And the consumerist American lifestyle is very much about consumption, 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 spend, earn, debt, 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 debt. And we didn't want that cycle to come with us. So all of the debts that I had were paid off before I left the United States. So we left debt free. We left with enough money in the bank to be able to have 1 year on a budget of 2,000 US dollars a month. And we actually ended up spending about 1,500, 1,000 to 1,500. And we had a like handshake, spit in the handshake deal. We are going to collect experiences, not things. So our deschooling process was really about this intention and moving into that space. And we did it very easily because we were both kind of disgusted with the consumerist lifestyle. And because I worked in advertising, like I'm creating consumerism, and Miro had this already relationship to, well, that's what mom does. So let's choose something different. And it was really, really a wonderful sort of deschooling or decompression of that. And once we stepped into that fully, we were able to see what was important.